WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Well, this is a Balvenie 12-year-old single barrel first fill bourbon cask matured whiskey. Yay! So this has almost the most information that is useful on the outside of this tin of any bottle I've ever seen in or from Scotland. You have all the different parts of the cask here, very, very good, from the rivets down to the heads, down to the charring, down to the crows, down to the quarter hoop, down to the staves. You have here a little bit about the barrel notes that are here. Over in the backside, you have a single barrel. What is it? Why do we have those? And over here, we have some tasting notes and a little bit more of a history, also from Balvenie. I mean, that's great. They used the real estate on this very, very effectively, and I must admit, well done. And the word non-chilled filtered is on there. The only thing that's missing with, I'm going to say, 1,000 or 5,000 plus words on this tin is the word natural color. Balvenie, if you could do that, that would be very, very great. Now, the other thing that I really don't understand yet, the ABV, 47.8%. Why not 48? Why not 47? Why not 46? Why 47.8? I could not, in my brief research online, find a reason for that. If anyone knows, please tell me. Now, we have here a generic tin. This you can use for all the single barrels that are ever produced. The label here you can use for every single single barrel 12-year-old that is ever produced. You just have to have actually a printer to print the cask number. I have the cask number 15278, and they actually do print the bottle number. So I have bottle number 38 here. Out of how many, we never know. That would be very tricky to actually calculate and be able to do. They just made it more efficient. They say never more than 300 bottles out of one single cask. So a normal bourbon barrel is about 200 liters, 190, 200, 205. I've seen them with 210, but usually 190 to 200. And therefore, if you dilute it down, even though it's single barrel, it's not cask strength, you dilute it down to 47.8%, you're going to get about 250, 280 bottles out of their max. Balvenie belongs to William Grant & Son. William Grant & Son is one of the very few big spirits producers in the world that did not have a loss in 2023, but rather grew their market share. Why? Well, one thing is they own the wonderful, nice distillery called Glenfiddich. They also own Balvenie. So according to my nice little book here, this is the Malt Whiskey Yearbook 2025. William Grant & Son actually sold 20 million bottles of Glenfiddich last year. They sold Monkey Shoulder, it's their blended malt, 8.2 million bottles. And of the Balvenie single malt, they sold 5.3 million bottles. That's a lot of bottles, to be honest, all right? So we're talking about 34 million bottles just of that alone. Not only that, they actually own a couple other distilleries. For example, Alcebay, Keninvi, and Tullamore Dew, which they just built the new distillery 2014 in Ireland. The only place that William Grant & Son, William Grant & Son actually are not totally active at all with their own distillery, their own production, is America. Where do the casks come from? America. So they're buying casks from their competitors. So they have something called Fistful of Bourbon and Hudson whiskey, which I'm not sure about. I thought Hudson belonged to Campari, but that's just me. All right, so, yeah. What was it here? 1.2 million cases, all right, were sold. So the Balvenie is very, very popular with Monkey Shoulder. And Monkey Shoulder was first introduced onto the market in 2003. So it's basically only 20 years old as a brand. And that is amazing to see how that grew and actually became a I'm going to use the word cash cow for William Grant & Son. What am I going to compare it to? I needed something with a first fill bourbon, and I have an Auchentoshan in here. This is Auchentoshan American Oak, and we have here the, it says here, vanilla and coconut with clean citrus zest from first fill bourbon casks. And so I just picked this. Is this the best whiskey in the world? No. Is this something I just had behind me and I could use? Yes. Does it have 40%? Yes. Is it chill filtered? Yes. Is it natural color? No. And so that's one of the things here that I always try to compare, and I have a comparison. On the nose, it's all about Balvenie 12 today. I get a nice fresh scent. Tiny little bit of grass, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of oak, a little bit of cereals, barley, grain. And I get a little bit of a light honey note. That's what it is, all right? So Chelsea, she's the master malter. She's been now at the company Balvenie for 10 years. She started in 2014. She got her bachelor's in biology. She got her master's here in brewing and distilling from the Hyatt Waite University Institute in Edinburgh. She's been working now as an assistant malt master now for a couple of years, and just recently she was made after her predecessor had been in office for 60 years. She has now taken over, and she's now the person who tries and tastes each and every one of the single barrels before they are bottled. So she's yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, yes. And she's always looking, according to here, deep vanilla, oakiness, rich, complex honey notes, sweet fruits, subtle spices, and this lingering sweetness. Now, I'd like to try this. Oh, I forgot. Last year, the price was 58 euros. This year, it's 68 euros. So, William Grant & Son got the message, hey, we can charge more. And so if you can find a single barrel from last year, you're going to pay 10 euros less, 15% basically, than the ones that are now hitting the market. I just bought this, just arrived in Germany last week. This is basically the end of November, and yeah. So let's see when the video comes out. I have so many videos actually produced already that I can stop drinking whiskey until March, and I think I still have enough produced for a schedule of every other day here that I'm doing. That's good. This is not good. If I didn't know better, I would say that's like a bad German whiskey, but it's actually a bad lowland triple distilled Auchentoshan American oak whiskey. Cheers. For 12 years in a first fill bourbon barrel, I'm getting a lot of heat. I did this in my German video. I'll do this here as well. I'm going to dilute it down to like 43%. And it gets so much better. It's so much creamier. It's so much less of that hot moment of the alcohol and so much more about the flavors. Wood, honey, sweetness, vanilla. It's not overly complex. And that's the question. Would I actually say this belongs on my perma shelf? This is a whiskey that I'm going to buy and I'm going to constantly keep on my shelf. No, it's 70 euros, 68 euros. No, this is way too expensive. This is a D for value for money. For taste, it's at the moment, without water, it's a solid C. And I add some water to it. It goes up to a C+. But a C+ is still not something you can write home about. This is not a wild whiskey. This is average. It's good. It's acceptable. It's okay. It's just fine. But if I'm going to pay 70 euros for a bottle, I want something that wows me. For 80 euros, I can get cask strength bourbon. single barrel tires sometimes. I mean, hey, 70 euros is a lot of money to be paying for anything. Yes, it has a age statement. Yes, it's a single barrel, which means your mileage will vary. Maybe your single barrel is different than my single barrel. I have, as I said, 15278 and bottle number 38. But no, and it's very, very light. So it's like a straw yellow here. Maybe my camera makes it a little bit darker than it actually is. So my question of the day is, what is your favorite Balvenie product? I had from the Balvenie Tun, Tun, I don't know which numbers it was. I did batch 1 to, I think, 5 or 6, actually, and then the prices got over 250 euros a bottle. I just stopped. It was just like, okay, good. I think there's more now out there. Before that, there was another smaller batch with the Tun. Many people had bought those, and they were fabulous, and mine were very good, but I just couldn't justify to myself paying 200 plus euros for a bottle. And here we have the 70 euros for the bottle. I just can't justify paying that for this okay, mediocre product. What is your favorite Balvenie whiskey? And why do we have 47.8%? Why? Please tell me why. I want to know why. Could be a song in there. This, I'll try it. Don't buy it. It's not worth it. Not worth the money. WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, saying the Balvenie 12 Versatile Bourbon, okay. The 15 with his single barrel with sherry. Oh, those are a little bit more interesting. Cost a little bit more as well. And the double wood used to be much, much better than it is today. Personal opinion. All right. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and tell others. Bye-bye.